funky.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Good Times with the Boys. You know, I say this all the time, but you know what? I really do mean it today, and I mean it every other time I say it. But today's going to be a good one. Today, this is what we like to do. We, depending on whoever sees us or talks about us, I like to think that my group of friends here who created this podcast, we're pretty eclectic and we're also very talented.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are some things that we are talented in certain things compared to other people, right? And this gentleman sitting here to my left, if you're listening, I have this guy sitting here to my left. Okay. I'm not going to introduce him yet because I want to draw this out as long as I can.
It's usually me, but...
Oh, sorry. It's usually Andrew. But today, we want to bring on talent. And you know what? That's what we did today. Please, everybody, bring your hands together for Paul. Paul, to be honest, I forgot your last name. So that's why I was like, Paul.
Paul, why don't you introduce yourself to us?
There you go.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for assuming my gender properly. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, my name is Paul. Pablo, legally, but Paul, because we're in America. My last name is Useda, so it's used A. That's how you spell it. It's Useda. You say Useda, any of those variations.
Oh, okay. Like USANA.
Not that far. It's an E. There's an E in
like
there, bro.
The USANA,
And the nutrition brand?
the nutrition brand.
Oh, see, I don't know about that.
Yep.
It's okay. I did a little bit of multi-level marketing.
Paul USANA, everybody. No, I'm just kidding, man. Paul, first and foremost, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
You were so gracious with your time. And to be honest, we cannot wait to pick your brain on. We have a few things, to discuss here. But, I mean, without further ado, if you can, maybe a little intro, kind of what you do, what you're about, some life prophecies. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, for now, I'm a barista at Starbucks, but I don't drink coffee.
Ooh.
Or I do. I like it, but I can't have caffeine because I have a caffeine intolerance. So that sucks. So decaf it is, which is not as fun as some of the things you guys can have. Aside from that, as you guys know, I'm a photographer, freelance, have my own page and all that. Talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I'm also a bowler. I was a league bowler for 2 years. So some people don't know that.
And he is so good. So good.
I mean, I'm all right.
Yeah, when I talk about talent, I'm talking about this guy's multi-talented. Okay?
Aside from that, I just finished building another bicycle, not a motorcycle. It took me 2.5 months. It's a full restoration of a 1976 Peugeot that my dad first gave me.
Wow.
Yeah, and he bought it back in 76. So I fully restored it, and now I'm riding again. I'm also into powerlifting. It doesn't look like it too much because I eat a lot, but that's where it counterbalances itself. I lift a lot so I can eat a lot.
How much can you lift? What's your combined
Combined
weight?
totals right now? I'm not sure because I'm still kind of flip-flopping from being on and off.
Oh, well, you were injured for a while, weren't you?
I was. I had a wrist injury, so benching sucks. My max on bench has only been 225 ever. Deadlift max has been 450. And then squat max has been 325.
Respectable.
It's not too bad.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. And then if we're going to count like other stuff, like I can do farmer's walks at 200 pounds on each arm. So that's pretty fun.
Wow. How'd you hurt your wrist?
Bowling.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, because that could have gone so many different ways.
Yeah.
And, you could say you were jacking off or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter.
No,
okay?
dude, I got that down pat.
Right on, dude. Right on. So that is kind of weird. You are how long have you been a barista for?
4 years actually this month on the 29th.
Hey,
It'll be 4 years.
congratulations.
Yeah,
There you
thank
go. And the whole no coffee thing. That's did you find that out early? To be honest, that seems fairly ironic.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I had always liked coffee when I was younger. Well, maybe that's the problem, is I liked it too young. So when I started at Starbucks, I would drink a lot of dark roast, especially French. French was like my go-to.
Ooh.
I love that robust, smoky, burnt mud wood flavor. And one day I started experiencing panic attacks. And it was kind of linked to a depressive factor in my life, which we can talk about later.
Oh, of course. Okay.
But yeah, it all kind of came full circle that I had the caffeine intolerance and anxiety kicked in and panic kicked in. And then I realized, okay, this is something I can't have because then it causes these panic attacks.
Wow. You know what? Maybe it's not a panic attack. Maybe, hear me out for a second. Maybe, have you ever watched the movie Wanted?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what happens to me sometimes, right? I go into a mental or physical tirade and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening, right? But sometimes I embrace it and I say, maybe this is wanted. Maybe it's not my anxiety. Maybe I'm a super being. Do you think you're a super being, Paul?
You know, it's weird that you mentioned that because there have been times where I have had these, panic episodes. And I kind of use it to, I guess, to an advantage, for lack of a better term, because I don't let it bring me down. Instead, I'll use that energy because it's energy. You're ramped up on adrenaline so that you don't die, basically. So I'll go out and do something in the backyard because I like a lot of like backyard projects, and I'll exert the energy to that, and that's how I find myself to calm down without feeling like, oh crap, I'm about to die. Like no. I talk to myself. I know something's going on. I know I got to get out of it. I'm by myself sometimes. My mom's at work or whatever. So I got to figure it out. So I'll tell myself, I'll talk to myself out loud too. I'll be like, nope, this is cool. You're fine. You already know it's some physiological thing that's not a heart attack. Let's go to the backyard. I don't know, cut one of the trees, trim it or work on some metal thing that you were doing the other day, or go do something to the car. We wash the car even.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been able to kind of get out of that. So in a sense, not like the superhuman thing, but like you said, you use it to your advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think if you actually, I think you could PR every time, if you if you just picked up a barbell or something.
You're probably right, man. Because for the first time in my lifting career, about 2 months ago, I sniffed ammonia.
Ammonia.
Holy hell! I had never experienced such a feeling. Like that shit made my eyes glow. Like I didn't see stars. I just saw things that lit up, and my hearing it didn't go away, but I didn't pay attention to anything around me, and I was able to do like a 385 for a set of 5, like the back to back. I did the touch and goes, and I was like,
what's ammonia supposed to do?
So for those of you who are listening or watching that don't know,
I don't do drugs.
If you've ever seen someone who's unconscious, it's like smelling salts, kind of. And then the ammonia just, I don't know what it does scientifically, but apparently, and Paul did a great job of explaining it because that's what I imagine that it would do. But it's called, it makes me feel like it's a mix of like an inhaled cocaine, LSD, acid type of thing.
Yeah, kind of. It's
I'm
really
so down.
It's a really fast acting stimulant, and I forgot what it binds to exactly when you do sniff it. We learned about it in EMT class, but I totally forgot. And yeah, it just activates. I forgot what it was, but you basically wake up. You just wake up, and some people use it when they wake up in the morning instead of drinking coffee or doing whatever ritual. Some people actually buy sports ammonia. They'll smell it a little bit.
No.
They'll ramp up for 5 minutes, and that's their kickoff for the day.
Wow. I need to go on Google right quick. Go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead.
How much is sports ammonia?
It's like they sell the capsules for like $6 on Amazon,
Bro?
and then they have a little jar container thing that has like the pure salt, and you kind of just wet it to keep it moist, and that lasts you up to 3 months. And that one's like $14.
Oh, German, you need to wean yourself off coffee, don't you?
You see, I like coffee. There's something therapeutic about it, I think. Although I don't brew my own coffee the way Kang-san does, or literally the way you guys do, but there's something there's something therapeutic about just just drinking the coffee. Although it's become kind of like part of people's days and like, oh, just every time I get in the morning. Don't talk to me till I have my coffee. It's I really immerse myself in the coffee, and I enjoy drinking it. It's something I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah.
Is it a placebo effect? Maybe, but I've gotten to that point where people who drink coffee a lot and they don't do it for a while and they start feeling kind of weird. I'm at that point now, which kind of sucks.
So would you say it's a withdrawal?
I wouldn't say it's a withdrawal. I wouldn't say it's like a complete withdrawal, but it just feels better with it.
Okay.
That month, May, when I didn't drink any coffee, and then I didn't drink coffee for another 2 months after that.
Jeez.
And then I drank coffee for the first time. I had like this head high. Like I would get just lightheaded and it was just a weird feeling.
Huh.
I liked it.
I mean, I like it too. But I'm gonna place an order as I place this order of ammonia sports smelling salts here.
That's the one.
Okay.
How much is it? It's cheaper.
$10
Dude, it used to be 14
for 20 ampules.
Oh, those are little ampulets. That's why. Okay. But still, I mean, you're still good.
I don't know why I said it in Spanish. It's just 20 ampules, bro. Speaking of things that are therapeutic, I find that you are fairly proficient in when I see certain things, right? We all have a pretty keen eye when it comes to certain things. But perhaps you may be a little more keen as you are a photographer. Can you get into that a little bit?
Are you asking me if you look good enough for photos?
I mean,
because you do.
Oh, thank you.
Especially with the Ray-Bans.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, let's not state the obvious. Yeah. But no, I mean, like, how'd you get started? When you got started, things of that nature.
All right. Well, there's a couple ways it started. So first, when I was a kid, my parents used to, they still do, they believe in exposing it, like our kid or their kids, me and my brother. They wanted a lot of exposure to the world for us. So we would always go out and adventure and travel here and there and learn the freeways and learn different cities. And we always had cameras. My parents always had cameras. Back then it was still film. We used to shoot color film, some old Canons and Panasonics. And from time to time I would always ask, like, hey, I want to shoot photos. So I would. And I learned framing really young from both of my parents. They taught me how to hold it, how to look, how things are going to look through the viewfinder. And this is what you're going to get. And same with the Polaroid. Polaroid was a little harder because you have a rangefinder there. You don't have a viewfinder. And so it began there. So I've always been around cameras. As I grew up, my brother got into some recording from time to time. He got into the photography thing too. I was always, again, surrounded by it, but never dove into it until I finished high school. When it came time to sign up for college classes, it was my first time. And I had late registration because that was just negligence on my part. So I saw that there was a photo class opening. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take that because I have an old 35 millimeter camera. Let me try it. Let me be a hipster about it.
Yeah. And
use that old metal thing that I have as a shelf item and see what I can do.
Was that your camera or your parents' camera?
It was actually mine. I bought it on eBay.
Nice. Okay.
As a hipster, I was like, oh, it's $20. It's cool. Let me have it. I never thought of using it. I had no intention to use it. So sure enough, I go, and the first roll that I shot, my teacher was pleasantly surprised. He was like, hey, have you ever done this before? I mentioned like the things as a kid, but never have I gone out to shoot photos myself or let alone develop my own film. And he was just really impressed. He was taken away. He was like, don't stop. That's the only thing he said to me. He said, don't stop.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, let me take that. And I rolled with it. And that was it. It kind of just blossomed into this hidden talent that I never knew I really had.
Do you remember what you shot on that first roll of film?
Yes, I remember the first photo. It was some crappy little daisies in my backyard. And I didn't know about proper exposure yet and how to use the filters in the darkroom. So the film came out exposed fine. But my first print that I made, it was just like a blob of gray.
Oh.
But the teacher kept telling me, keep working on it.
Tell me you still have that photo.
I do.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I have binders of old film shots that I have.
Nice. Yeah.
And most of that roll was just backyard stuff. It was all like flowers in the backyard, typical. A couple of mom and dad in the kitchen. Nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What would you say, as far as like your favorite things to shoot, I guess, or if you were to, if you kind of only had one, a lot of people like landscapes or portraits or lifestyle, or,
sports, action,
right, urban cityscape kind of stuff. What would you say like you enjoy doing the most, or you wish to do more of?
Anything that gets the followers. No, I'm kidding, guys. No.
I was about to say I respect that so much.
I used to kind of respect that to learn more about it, and then I really found myself, like literally myself, with portrait photography.
Okay.
Once I started shooting portraits of people, I started to be able to express myself more, because I was always reserved and kind of down in the dumps and dark. So I never really wanted to talk to people much. I had my little group of friends, but other than that, I was very like, So through that, I was able to hear people's stories. And that was very eye-opening to me, because then I realized, well, I'm not alone in some of the thoughts that I have. And yeah, there are worse cases out there. Not to compare myself to others, but let's be real. Be thankful for what you have, because someone else, they're way worse. And yeah, it was just a lot of enjoyment in that. Finding myself, learning about people, learning about myself, and just hearing the stories that people have. Yeah, the stories that people have is truly eye-opening. So some of them at the beginning, they were my friends from, quote unquote, friends from high school, acquaintances. And I learned so much about them that I never would have placed that on them. Like, wow, I never knew you went through that, or that's what you felt, or that's what you believed, or that happened to you.
So were they trying to articulate their thoughts and what they were going through their photos? Would they say like, hey man, I'm going to, can you take a picture of me over this waterfall and my hair is going over like this because I want to show that I'm emo or something like that?
Actually, no. A lot of the photography was actually my idea at first. I would just ask them like, hey, can I borrow you for, this assignment that I have? And to avoid making it awkward, I would kind of just start talking, because I felt like, okay, I have no choice but to engage with this person at this point, because then it'd just be weird. Like, I'm just shooting photos of your face with the light on the side, and you're like, okay, can I leave? So I would just, out of nowhere, I just started asking things. I became very curious. As I became curious with the camera, I became curious with life, and I started asking people personal things. And at that point, I really had no filter, because I felt, why should I?
Right.
Because we're in a vulnerable state. It's a very intimate moment. I'm shooting photos of you. You're allowing me to do this. Let's get to know each other some more. Let's see who we really are. Let's leave the high school bullshit behind and learn, what are we? Who are we? What do we want to do? What are our plans? And through that, I was able to make friends. So that's how that all came about.
Have you ever had like pushback from the models that you're taking pictures of that don't really want to talk?
Somewhat.
How do you deal with that sort of stuff?
You just respect it. You just have to respect it. Some people don't want to talk about certain things, so I'll kind of try to go on a different path.
Yeah.
And make it more friendly, or more kind of just normal. Something very simple like music, or what about this tree, whatever. And for the most part, everyone talks about something. But it's actually been very rare that someone doesn't open up about their personal life. Maybe about 2 people, and I've shot hundreds of people.
Yeah, there's something so, I guess, angelic, or it's so organic. As you said, it's very black and white. No pun intended, but it's just. It's 2 people if it's just a one-on-one shoot,
which mostly was.
And I guess you could be in a studio, or you could be out in a park somewhere, but there's a common understanding between the 2 people, and not necessarily a barrier, but the thing in between them can say and do and express a lot of things for that person, not only for the one shooting the photo, but the one taking the photo as well.
Right.
So I guess when it comes to, I can see how when it comes to that point, it's not necessarily they're in an uncomfortable situation, but it's kind of they're in the moment, right? And I'm glad that that was kind of, you were able to use that as a stepping stone for an improved interpersonal conversation and being more comfortable with them. However, what I forgot the question I was going to ask. Would you, and I posed this earlier, have people ever come to you for anything weird?
How weird are we talking?
I want as weird as, like, something like, hey man, look, bro, we're cool, right? We're cool, right? And then you say, yeah, we're cool. And I'm like, yeah, man. So, this is what I want you to do. I want to be upside down. I want to be naked. And I just want you to take an aerial photo of me going down from the top to the bottom. I need it for this is how I express myself, and I feel like you're the only photographer that can do this for me.
No, nothing that far fetched.
I want pig's blood draped over my body, and I want my silhouette to be red. So something along the lines of that. You know what I mean?
No, not really. Unfortunately, I would like that more. Actually, I would like some really twisted ideas to come forth. But
well, that's mine. I'll talk to you later.
I feel like the community that I'm in is not about that. It's Latino culture. It's very conservative to their roots.
Oh, right.
So to me, the most, I guess, weird thing has just been nude photography. But not in a weird sense. It's just been like, hey, I want to be a model one day. So do you mind if I get naked and you shoot photos?
Yeah,
that's cool. We can try that.
The wheels are spinning in German's head.
Sorry, yeah, there's just a lot of things.
He's like, where can I get pig's blood? Where can I get a crane?
At all the carnicerias, dude.
Yeah, I know, bro. It's
drive down Imperial.
Yeah, it's crazy when people do that without hesitation. It's especially people who are, well, I guess those specific people aren't as conservative, but I mean, that's just like showing your all, showing everything. And to be honest, there's a level of trust that person is putting into the photographer. But then again, I mean, you're a great dude, so I wouldn't see why not. But I mean, there are a lot of people out there that would definitely take advantage of that.
Right. And that's been the most humbling part of it is, I started young and out of high school. So, hormones are raging, but people knew I had a girlfriend. So that helped a lot. And they've known a little bit about me, and they've known that I've always been kind of the, not loner, because I always knew everybody in high school, but I wasn't a popular kid. I just kept it cool with everyone. Whether you were a cholo, a geek, a freak, a prep, I was cool with everyone. I was neutral. So people knew that about me. So that helped a lot. So establishing the trust was very humbling, because when you have girls that are willing to get naked in front of you, and you're by yourself in my house, a lot of it was in my house, in my living room, because I used to have like the softbox lighting, flash units, all that jazz. I invested in a backdrop that was garbage, but humble beginnings.
Yep.
And so they would just lay out on the floor on a blanket. I would get a ladder and shoot from above. So I guess I was shooting from above.
1 of 6. Check.
And it's that was an interesting time. Like, I remember the first time I shot.
I was just about
nude.
to say, yeah.
The first nude session was just like, I just felt warm, like not turned on. I wasn't like sexually aroused, which is something beforehand I always told myself, if I'm going to do this as a profession, not that I want to be a professional photographer like for life, but if I'm going to do it as a hobby profession, I got to be professional about it.
Correct.
I want to present myself in a way that this is not going to get weird. I'm not doing this to get in your pants. I'm not a freak. Let's be real. I love this shit. I love messing with lighting, angles, body curvature. It's amazing. It's beautiful. So I remember the first time it was really weird. I got warm because it was like the first time seeing another girl naked that wasn't my girlfriend while having a girlfriend.
Oh.
So you're like, I don't know what to feel. Like,
yeah,
I'm not like attracted to you, but
I know what to feel.
Like, you're fucking naked. And it was weird, man. But like, she went with it. She was cool, and she posed all natural, and I was just snapping away. And it was like in a minute's time, it just became normal. It was just so like, okay, this is fine. This is normal. This is a professional setting, and we're getting something done.
Huh.
And from that point on, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, this is not an obstacle that I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
And then from that, you know, exposing her and her exposing me helped me get that trust from other people. Because, you know, word of mouth says a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Don't knock it till you try it. People don't really like things that they don't know, or they're not comfortable with doing things that they haven't done before.
Right.
You know, the whole popular Will Smith things, like, why am I, you know, scared of doing something and leading up to it? I'm wasting all my time being scared. Where, you know, sometimes you just got to do it.
Right.
And what'd your girlfriend think at the time?
She wasn't happy with it. That's for sure. She really wasn't. But the reason behind that also is that she also had her own demons that she was dealing with. So a lot of insecurity issues. So, but that's a whole nother topic.
Wow.
But eventually it got to the point where she realized that I truly do have a compassionate side for what I'm doing. And it's not just some sexual adventure.
Right.
It's a real thing, because I didn't only shoot nudes. At the time I was shooting everything. Skating, biking, landscapes, architecture, whatever, everything. Just whatever I thought, I can make a picture out of that. And then she saw that. And she realized, okay, this dude's like really into this. This is just what he is good at.
Yeah.
So she rolled with it, which I was very thankful for.
If an opportunity ever came up, and not to shoot me naked. You know, I mean, if you guys were thinking that, but maybe one day. But no. It's well, this kind of also ties into you said you know you don't want to be doing this as like the full-time gig kind of thing, and from the you know the small sample size I've seen, you might as well be a professional photographer. But if is there anything that not necessarily taboo, but things that you won't do, like people like for instance, right, let's say the tobacco industry, right? Billions and billions of dollars, but you're killing people, right? So it's I don't know what the term is for that, but would you ever compromise like the morals and the principles you have if someone were to present you with, hey man, I want to sign you for this project? You know, I don't know if it goes against what you're thinking, but I tell you what, I'm gonna pay you a buku loads of money. You're gonna be set for the rest of your life. Your portfolio is gonna be amazing.
Honestly, my morals on that are very thin, almost non-existent.
Wow.
And I don't mean that to come off as an asshole. I'm not saying that I don't have morals. I have my values behind things. But as a photographer, if that was to ever arise, I wouldn't back down. You know, like the smoking thing, for example. Let's say it was Camel that came up to me, or Marlboro.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way I see it, and I know it's a little harsh, is people make that choice to smoke. That's not me doing that.
Right.
I don't smoke, but I'll shoot for a tobacco company.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's just the name of the game. And again, that's not to be like a sadistic asshole about it, but I'm not forcing people to do something that's bad for them. I'm simply supplying a photo. I've shot cigarettes in my photos.
Yeah.
And I don't advocate smoking. But if someone takes that as an idea of, oh, that's cool, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good people out there that'll tell you that's not a good idea. And if you're not willing to hear them out, you're kind of fucking yourself.
Right.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, everyone has their own choice that they have to make.
I have so much respect for you, Paul.
Thank you.
The level of respect is skyrocketing through this roof right now.
So, on the line of kind of what ifs, right? What type of idealistic photography would you get into? Like your future plans in photography?
I mean, if it boiled down to one thing, it would have to be portrait work, but not like wedding photography, not bridal shower, baby shower, whatever, life events, it would be more reflected of like Richard Avedon, who was one of my favorite photographers. He did a lot of work for famous people. He would just shoot famous people in his studio with the large format film camera. And that was it. He was known for these beautifully blown out, just plain as white as you can get, white backgrounds with the most intricate detail on people's hair and skin and just facial features on a large format camera. So that would be my endeavor if I was to ever do that.
Have you ever thought about like going to war zones and doing that type of photography?
That's some sketchy stuff, man. I've looked into it. I met someone that did it for a little bit. It's scary. I wouldn't do it. I would not.
But what if? What if
I don't care how much money you give me.
Like, what if your picture ends up being the cover of like Time magazine?
Time can keep whoever they have. I ain't going over there.
I love Paul.
Well, no, it's not Warzone, but it's still high level like risk photography. Was Pete Souza? He was a photographer for the White House for Obama.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys should follow his Instagram. It's gorgeous. Like even his like everyday stuff is just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why are you this good? Stuff like that I would do. Even if it was for Trump.
Yeah.
I would still, whoever's sitting in office, that would be a badass job. That would be a dope ass photography position. White House photographer.
Well, I have a question. Okay. Let me, because in this day and age of technology, there are a lot of things you can do. I'll just use like pre and post, right? And so there are a lot of things you could do in post in whatever software that you intend to use to edit photos and videos and all that. But how much of it actually, and this is coming from someone who doesn't know shit about photography, right? Maybe if it looks pretty, I'd be like, damn, that looks dope. But how much of it actually goes into, like, if you were to give like a starter pack of just whatever you think a dope photo should look like. Say if you were just taking photo of an object, for instance, like in the mind of a really good photographer. I mean, I can tell you what I see. I see a cup, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe if I, take a picture from up here, it'll look kind of dope. Like I don't even know what the fuck to look for.
Yeah, I get you. See, like for me,
right?
I see a cup with lines on it. So I see the water line or whatever you're drinking. Then I see this shadow hitting from that ceiling fan. Then I see this shadow from your little LED light. And then the whole thing's illuminated by all the light, mostly by that one, coming in this way, which I can see it on the rim. So at the right angle, even with your laptop open as a backdrop, with my lens that I have, the 105 prime, I can make that look pretty cool. If I was to shoot it, let's say maybe like 2 feet back here, at eye level to the cup, with all this gear in the way, I would just make this the central focus. This would be the foreground. That would be the background.
Can we pause this and can you shoot that real quick?
Dude, like, you were blowing my fucking mind right now. He was like, there's a light here. And I'm like, yeah, there's a light right here. You know what I mean? And like, do you see the shine? Yeah, I see a shine. I saw that shine. Okay, I mean, that kind of answers my question. But I guess
to kind of further on.
Yeah.
It's composition. A lot of it comes down to composition. That's really where it begins. It's not something that you're going to develop in post so much. It all begins with what did you capture and how well can you work with that.
Okay.
That's really what it boils down to, is your keen eye of what is going to make this photo attractive, appealing, draws the attention of the crowd to look at this one thing that I want you to look at, because that's what I saw. I want to give you the best visual representation of what I saw at that moment. That's my job, is to give that to you. I want you to be like, damn, that's what he saw.
Yeah.
And I want to be like, yeah, that's what I saw.
Wow.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. But
if we're gonna get technical on the post editing, contrast, lighting, which is like luminescence and clarity, and just exposure, and color balancing. Those are the 3 that I revolve around, because I don't want to mess with the picture too much.
Right.
I know if you see my feed, it's kind of like, okay, that's obviously not what you got out of the camera, but I try to make it look as real as what I got from my eyes. Because, we're never going to replicate what we see in real life.
Yeah.
Right.
Our eyes are fucking amazing. They are. But I try to get close to it without looking like too much like color vomit.
Yeah.
Oversaturated and this weird, like, okay, Dick, like, you didn't see that. Relax.
Yeah.
So I try to make it as close as, like, yeah, that's what I saw when I was there.
There were times where if I go back in my Instagram, which I'm
okay.
probably going to delete right now, some of those photos.
Have a lot of HDR going on, huh?
Dude, there was a time where I was like, damn, bro, oversaturation looks dope. You know what I mean? Like, just like the shadows and just how things look. And it was like, man, that looks warm, dude. That looks dope, right?
Yeah.
And I look at it now, and I'm just like, this is embarrassing. Why do I have this?
Don't worry, man. We all go through that. I mean, sometimes I look back at my photos, I'm like, damn, that shit was dull. Or like, what was I thinking? Why is it so flat? Why did I think that it was a good idea to go out in the middle of the day to the riverbed at 12 o'clock? That was stupid.
It's so
Everything's
bright,
just
right?
washed out.
Yeah.
You get everything's just a highlight. You get no shadows in the face.
I was like, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
It's something that's too much lighting.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, ideally, you want to shoot from like where we live between 7 and 9 in the morning, and then 3:30 to like 7 at night or in the evening. Those are your like nice sweet spots for shadows and lighting and just this rich color, especially right now in the fall.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the air is getting crispier and you can see more. You can see downtown clear. So when you go outside, it's like real life HDR without HDR on a camera. So usually a lot of the shots that you get from raw photos tend to be good already. You just have to boost a little color, hit the contrast, exposure, clarity, and that's it. You're good.
I'm gonna post a photo later today. I'm gonna use some of those tips and tricks. When we were getting into, or I mean, as far as just the people, the boys, Andrew and Kong-san are way more proficient than I am. But when you are shooting in manual mode, it's a totally different world, right? Obviously, compared to like an automatic, just a point and shoot kind of thing.
I do. You always have it in auto.
Huh?
You always have it in auto. It's the best exposure. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I was like,
No, you would get fired
stop.
if you shot on auto.
right. But I mean, I guess it practice makes perfect, and now I'm always seeing Andrew and Kong-san fidget with everything as far as like shutter speed and ISOs and f-stops and all that stuff, right? I guess now obviously you're very advanced in that, but I guess like that process, how long did that take you think? Like to the point where you're seeing if we did this, right? If we did this cup, it'd be like, this is exactly what I need for this cup.
It was about a year and a half because for the first 3 years of my photographic journey, it was all film. It was 35 millimeter, 120 millimeter, and 4x5 large format. And in that's where I learned when I can look at something and be like, okay, that's like a f5 at a 1/60th with ISO 400 film. And I would get the light meter, and sure enough. And if anything, I'd be off by like 1 or 2 like quarter increments. So it was pretty spot on. So now, like when I go outside, it's a lot easier to just grab the 105 and be like, let me see. I want to get depth of field, which is why it's a prime. So I'll go to f3, shoot at like 1/500th at like ISO 200 around 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's dope. You get a beautiful portrait.
Yeah, I was going through his camera earlier, and I was like, "There's no test photos anywhere." If you go through my camera, my camera, it's just
Black,
white. Like, all right, I finally got it, and my scene has passed. All right,
And it's 6:00. Fuck, golden hour's gone.
Yeah, and then like as far as white balancing, that I do leave it on automatic on the camera. That's the only thing I leave on auto is white balance and focusing because I wear glasses and it sucks to manual focus sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have experienced that. But that's it. Everything is manual. The only thing, again, when it comes to learning, you want to mess up a lot so that you learn from those mistakes.
Right.
So get used to shooting manual. If, let's say, you're taking a class and you really need to make the deadline and you're like, fuck, don't use auto. Use P mode. which is program mode. So if you're shooting on an automatic lens that has sensors on it, when you turn the camera to program, it programs the brain of the camera to that lens. It understands that, okay, this is an f4 105 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
Let's utilize this to what we know for f-stops and shutter speeds. So you get proper exposure. And the cool thing about shooting in program mode is you can still adjust the dial to mess with shutter speed and aperture, and it compensates the other one. So you're like, oh, it's too dark, let me go to f3, and then the camera compensates. Okay, we're going to shoot at 1/100th now versus we were shooting at 1/500.
Yeah.
So you're still kind of in control. It's like semi-automatic.
Yeah.
It's like driving a car that it's an automatic, but it has a little up and down paddle crap.
Yeah.
It's kind of that. Like, you're somewhat in control to where you can say, oh, I shot that. The camera didn't do it. I did that. But again, that's like meeting deadlines, or if you're like, I don't know, shooting for someone and you're like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Let me just cheat a little bit.
No.
So now you know your program.
Yeah. Oh, and then you have aperture priority and shutter priority.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also another fun way of learning. That's actually how I learned a lot, is through that. It's going back and forth with like, okay, if I'm at this aperture with this ISO, what's the shutter speed going to be? And I would guess, and I'd be way off, and be like, okay, never mind. And then through that, I learned a lot of trial and error, and then lighting scenarios too. So it all comes full circle, and then you switch to M, and you're like, got this.
Yeah, I stay on that A, baby.
The green A. Huh?
Green means go.
Yeah, you know what? I there was a time where I felt like I was getting it down. I bought a camera. I bought a G7 Lumix a while ago, right? A couple years ago. Very good for video capture, obviously 4K capable and all that. But as far as photography goes, at this is the same time Kong-san was looking to purchase a camera as well. But it wasn't necessarily like photo centric, right? However, I started looking into all the little trinkets and all that, and there is something cool about once you start understanding. Because literally, bro, I went on Google and I was like, "What does ISO mean?" You know what I'm saying? Like isopure, like the drink, like protein. You know,
it means nothing related to photography. Honestly, it's like international something.
Oh. Apparently, I didn't Google it enough then, because
that's its true origin.
Yeah, because it just said ISO does, it does whatever. And so, yeah, there is a thing where I think I'm maybe a couple hundred shots in, and I'm like, wow, I'm really bad at this, you know what I mean? But then you start tweaking certain things, and things don't happen for a reason. Things happen because, well, you tried this, literally you tried everything else. Now you must try the last thing that you have, and then it comes out like really, really well.
Right.
So there is like a nice payoff, I guess. Will I continue to do it? Nah. I'm not.
Well, you have an iPhone, right?
I do.
Because you have the best camera in the world, according to everyone on Instagram.
Yeah, you see, that's. I don't want to subject myself to that.
See, no, but really though, like aside from the shit talking that I give them, these goddamn smartphones, they're fucking amazing. They really are. If you know how to utilize it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a lot of photographers say that the best camera that you could have is the one that you're actually carrying. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to be carrying your phone everywhere, might as well use it as a camera.
Yeah, man. If you're good at post editing, there you go. See, a lot of people like to edit on apps.
Yeah,
so it gets a little funky. The quality gets lost.
Right.
Because of compression. But if you throw it on Lightroom or Photoshop, you have full control, especially if you can shoot RAW. Like mine can shoot RAW, and I'm not showing off, but it can.
Your phone?
Yeah.
iPhone cannot.
No, they can't. Sorry about you.
Well, I mean,
but it still produces good photos. It'll still be a large format photo, and you can still throw it onto an editing software and make something amazing out of it. And the one thing that I've seen from phone photography that sucks that people don't fix is the kind of skews the edges, kind of widens it. It's got some distortion to it.
Oh, okay.
You just fix that. Just auto fix that. Yeah. And you're good. And then all the editing after that, and it looks like you could have shot it off of a Canon with the 50mm 1.4.
That's what I tell people. You know what I mean? It's like,
Especially
hey,
now, like we have portrait mode on the phone.
Yep.
yeah.
Like, dude, what the fuck?
What do you know? What do you think about? Cause, okay, look. So obviously, you still need to have right lighting and like it has to be the correct depth. Because some of those photos turn out really really bad, really grainy and all
Right.
that. But I guess if you for what it's worth, and some of the portrait photos you've seen taken by an iPhone, where does it rank as far as your barometer of dopeness, not dopeness?
It depends on the shooter. I'm not going to grade the phone and its camera capabilities. I'm going to grade the person that's holding it. And the reason behind that is that's this hipster movement. I know I look like one. I got the beard and the glasses and whatever.
You look,
flannel.
You look fantastic.
But I've been doing this shit for years.
Yeah.
And I
He
actually,
was hipster before hipster was cool.
exactly. So I'm like extra hipster. And I ride a fixed gear. Fuck.
Damn.
And you work at a coffee shop.
And I work at a coffee shop. And I drive a Honda Civic.
And you're a photographer. Oh man.
But you don't drink coffee, so
But I have tattoos.
I get the fuck out.
But yeah, you know, it comes down to that because it pisses me off when I see a lot of these young little wannabes like putting heavy ass filters on these photos, and they're like, "Oh, you know, dope shot," and blah blah blah. And then you see people commenting, they're like, oh, "Sick shot, bro!" Like, motherfucker, you're making a composite photo. You got that moon off of Google and you stitched it on there. Like, that's not fair for people that actually care and try.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of people that make photos like that I follow and respect because they've made it known that these photos are composite images. They compile other images into one to make this really dope ass scene. And they explain it. They're like, yeah, this is what I saw, this is what I envisioned. Versus people that are like, oh, look at this picture of the moon I took. No, you didn't. You didn't. You don't even know how to
Yeah.
use a real camera. You can't even use a DSLR. You shot it on an iPhone, threw it on Photoshop, put a moon in there, put some stars in LA, which we never see.
Yeah.
You can do long exposures on a cell phone. Even if you did, you wouldn't get them that crispy.
Yeah.
You'd get star trails. So, like, fuck out of here. So that's what it comes down to for me. Because, again, there are professional photographers. Peter McKinnon. That dude uses his cell phone. And it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
The other guys from Digital Rev. I don't know if you heard of them. He uses a cell phone a lot to record. Yeah, and he uses a little stabilizer. It's badass. It's like a mini movie.
Huh.
So, again, it's who's using it, how they're using it, and what they're doing with it. And if they're being honest about it, then I respect it.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes I'd be seeing people take a picture of the moon or something, right?
I'm like, how do you get that picture?
Exactly. And then I try to take a picture of the moon,
And it's just like
it's
this
just like
dot.
it's a white
Yeah.
dot,
It's
right?
like an orb.
Yep.
Yeah. Y'all are fucking liars, man.
Now you know secrets. You just get that picture from Google.
Okay, watch. Let me show you guys one, if you don't mind.
This is what I'm gonna start doing. Okay, all my posts from now on InstaG, all from Google. They're gonna be like,
No credit given. No credit
yeah,
given.
yeah, and I'm gonna wait for that one person to be like, "Yo, isn't that like Da Vinci's or?" And I'm like, I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Nah,
you know.
bro, it's original.
Yeah,
It's an original.
Isn't that like
piece.
a Rembrandt? No. That's on me. And then when I get caught up, is when I'll start like
There you go.
putting in my own moons and stuff.
So here, like, check this out. So that's over at the 4th Street Bridge in downtown. That was right after they had knocked down the 6th Street Bridge. And to me, it looks beautiful. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I really like how this came out.
That's fake, right?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
Come
Okay.
on. How are you going to have stars
That's
on
what-
a planet?
I'm making myself look mad dumb right now. You know what I mean?
Or the moon, whatever that is. How are you going to have it in the foreground of it?
You know what that looks like? You know those
There's
dudes?
stars in front of the moon.
Stars in front of the- right when I looked at the moon, I was like, "Are those stars?" I think I might be wrong. That looks like those. You know the people that do the spray can
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
That's what
that
I'm-
was my inspiration. I was like, okay, I want to take a photo and try to do that because I was watching at that time. I was watching a lot of those videos just because I'm that person that I'll stick to a certain type of video on YouTube and just learn about it.
Oh.
I'll never do it, but I just learn about it.
You're,
Right,
you're
right.
talking to the right crowd.
Yeah. We suck at everything.
It's because we try to do everything.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. It's a good way of entertaining yourself.
But the actual photo of the bridge itself you took, and
Yeah, it's like the sky was just black because you can't see anything. There were a few little dots from like an airplane and some stars, but most of it was just super underexposed. It was
Yeah.
like pitch black. So I just boosted it up, threw the stars in, threw the moon in, kind of work your way around it, layers and masking. It's a whole process. And yeah, that's it.
okay. I mean, you've been in it feels like, I guess, maybe longer for you. But you've been in the photography game for a while now. But when you do something for so long, maybe sometimes it becomes monotonous, or maybe you get tired of it. One, have you gotten tired of it? Two, if you still find motivation or inspiration somewhere. I mean, sometimes when you take a dope ass photo. Maybe you've done it so much, I don't know. But when you get all the settings right, you take it to a photo and you put it in post or whatever, and it turns out fantastic. Or even if you're giving it to someone that you're taking a photo of, and they're really happy about it, maybe that's where you find kind of your relief. But as far as like the motivation, the inspiration, your drive to do it, again, you said you don't really want to do it as a profession. Where do you find all that?
The drive for it comes out of sadness.
God damn.
Yeah. So when I'm at my lowest and I'm just feeling like everything sucks, I'll pick it up. I'll be like, let me just go outside and do what I know how to do. Because at that point, I feel kind of like useless. I'm like, oh, I have nothing to offer. Yeah. So let me do that one thing that I do know that I thoroughly enjoy and I know I'm good at. So I'll go and do it. And I'll shoot a bunch of shit, like gigabytes of shit.
Wow.
And I'll go home and delete most of them. And it comes down to like 2.
Wow.
And from those 2, I'll just feel better. I'll be like, hey, you know what? I did that. Let me pat myself on the shoulder.
Man.
A lot of the satisfaction has never come out of people being happy with their photos. I get there like, oh my God, your photography. Oh my God, I can't believe you shot me like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't. Like, you made me look so good. That never satisfies me. It never does. It makes me happy that they're happy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's really relieving to know that, hey, they appreciate my work. But I look at the image and the product and I'm like, I could have done better. I could have done something more. I could have done more. It's always more. I could have done more. Which is why it goes to doing it as a career. I feel like I would burn out. I feel like I would lose the true love that I have for it because it would be forced upon me to do it to a certain way. And then I'd have to get molded to do it a certain way too for someone that's paying me.
Yeah.
I can't be expressive on my own thoughts. So that's where a lot of it comes from. It's just sadness and music. So when I do have my depressive states, I listen to a lot of grunge. And from that, I just go out and I see things. I don't grow ideas from the music. I just see things in a different way. Because when I do feel these little areas of depression, like my vision literally changes. Like everything kind of gets dull. It really does. Some people say, oh, I feel dull. They mean that. It's not a feeling of dullness. It's just sometimes things just look dull. And you're like, damn, why is everything so bleak today?
Yeah.
And you just feel like shit. And to me, that's when I see the most. That's when I'm able to be like, okay, I feel ugly. Let me go take a picture of something that's ugly and make it not ugly. And then that works for me.
Yeah, I would think that maybe it works different for some people, but I wouldn't be surprised if, and tell me if I'm wrong, that at your lowest lows, perhaps you took some of the best photos you've ever taken.
That's usually been the case. Yeah. Which is why a lot of it happened during the first 3 years of the film classes that I took, because that was my lowest of lows when I first started college. I was just like, I would think about driving off the freeway on the way to school or driving under an 18-wheeler because I had a really small 89 Toyota Camry and it would fit under a truck.
Fast and Furious style.
Yeah. And I used to think about just jamming into the rear wheels. And then I would get off at the exit. It was at Rio Hondo. And the exit was, I forgot the name of the road. But there's a cemetery. There's Rose Hills Cemetery.
Rose Hills, yeah.
Rose Hills Road.
Yeah, Rose Hills, yeah.
So I would get off and I'd pull off and I'd just bawl out crying and just be like, fuck, I just thought about that.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to class, get the gear, go out and shoot. And that's when I felt most comfortable with myself away from people. I was just go shoot stuff.
So, I mean, if you didn't have that, I feel like that's kind of like your sanctuary, your place of relaxation, I guess. If you ever, not saying that you would in the near or far future, but if you didn't have photography, what would you rely on?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm sure I would pick something else up.
Yeah.
Because I'm that person. I learn a little bit about something and then I want more. And how would I say it? It's
addictive.
Yeah, it's an addictive personality.
Yeah.
Where it's not like I need it It's just I need more information about it.
Yeah.
Which was like the bowling, actually.
Mm.
A lot of that came from being sad, too. Because, you know, I went to the bowling alley by myself out of frustration one day just to throw the fucking ball. And then the head coach there, he was like, hey, you're pretty good. And from then on, again, it became that thing that I picked up, and I learned about the shoes and the trajectory on the lanes and the oil patterns and how it moves up, and then the ball and the curvature and the weight inside, and why there's different levels of the different bowling balls and different weights, and then the drilling patterns.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, that's just me. So I would have figured something out, I'm sure.
Yeah. Paul is the guy that I taught how to make latte art in a day, and he won the barista competition the next day.
Yeah. Dude, he taught me. He only gave me the names of components of like the AR-15s.
Mm-hmm.
And then there I am already built one. Because of Andrew, which I owe to him. Which I thank you.
Of course.
I think you're giving Andrew a little too much credit. No, I'm just kidding. And Andrew is an integral piece to this, and thank you, Andrew, for all that you do. But I mean, dude, it's weird because in all the sadness or that you say or that you're portraying out, dude, I see like dopeness.
Thank you.
Is all I see. And now maybe because the way you're conducting your life, and that's what is being perceived. Mm-hmm. But like, okay, obviously you're a dope photographer. All right, fuck, we're done. We're done with that shit. Okay, really quick, I just want to talk about fucking bowling. Okay.
Oh god.
So, Andrew and I, we've talked about this before, right? When we embarked on this bowling, stupid idea. Okay.
Was it?
Why?
Okay, so here's the thing, man. We were bowling so much.
Oh,
right?
we were bowling every day.
Yeah, you guys were bowling pretty excessively. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I was compromising my health, my sleep.
Whoa,
my
that's pretty
sleep.
serious,
dude. Man,
his hand was hurting almost every day.
Yeah, no, see, that's bad.
my right hand was
Swollen.
And you're
Like,
right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah,
My right hand.
Jill.
So what happened for that time?
Angela and fisting is are my well no, it was cool. It was like there was extra padding.
Okay,
so,
you're good.
Like doing it with a mitten.
Like, wow.
Or like you know, like the gloves when you take out a hot stove,
Like an
oven
oven mitt?
oven mitt. It's like doing an oven mitt, or like boxing gloves, 16 ounce. That's what, anyways,
yeah, tendinitis. That's what you have.
yeah. And so we thought that we were actually pretty good, like me and Andrew were actually pretty good, at least I thought. And then so, I'd go with Andrew to other places where he introduced me to his friends who are bowling. And so I meet Paul for the first time, right? At
That's at Cal, wasn't it?
it was a Cal Bowl, Lakewood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cal Bowl.
No, but you were Paul was already done bowling at that time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
where was it? We
The
were at,
first-
The first time we bowled was at the other one.
A Gable House.
Gable
That one,
House?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had my tall ass friend with me.
Yes, that's right. And excuse me. And man, I'm a fast learner. You know what I'm saying? I'm athletic. You know what I'm saying? I know how things are supposed to look doing certain sports, right? And so I see Paul, and I'm like, I'm about to bowl a cool 180 on this guy. You know what I'm saying? And so strike. And I'm like, I look at me, open frame. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, wow, this guy. If I didn't know any better, and I didn't know you were into photography or anything like that, I didn't know you were a barista. I was like, what the fuck? Andrew brought me to play with a professional bowler right now, dude. He really was like, oh, Germund, you think you're the shit? I'm gonna take you to a professional bowler.
I remember it had astonished you so much when I was teaching you how to throw
Yeah.
the way I was throwing, and I was striking, and you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, there were just some that I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And that just comes with practice, man. And not destroying your wrist. Because I used to be like you guys. I used to destroy my wrist. Because I used to do those power throws. Get the revs on there.
Yeah.
Until you upgrade to a better ball. Where you don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
It's a world of a difference.
How long have you been bowling for, man?
I picked up bowling about 3 years ago.
Shouldn't have asked that question. Fuck.
Hey man, we only have 2 months in? 3 months?
I feel like we started bowling a long time ago. Yeah, we only started a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
Yeah, like 52 weeks ago.
we're like a cool year. year into it, but nah, man, it's yeah, dude. I feel like I feel like we're all jack of all trades, right? And I feel like that for you as well, just because you're multi-talented, but you're not like a jack of all trades. You're kind of like a step above that.
Paul's a jack of all trades, master of some.
Master of some. There you go.
I like that. I don't feel like that. Thank you. But I like that.
Master of some. Master of some.
Yeah, because it's usually master of none.
Correct.
But Paul's master of some.
Baiting? What?
Come?
Huh?
Oh, Paul, I love you, man.
Thank you.
I love you.
Likewise.
It's Andrew. You have anything else to ask our lovely guests today?
Yeah, where can people find you at?
Instagram.
Hey.
Yeah. Photo dot like a period spy,
Yeah,
and that's me.
check out his Instagram. It's dope. Follow him.
Photo PHOTO.
Yes. Regular photo, like real people.
Yeah.
Like real photos.
Yeah. PHOTO dot SPY.
Photo.spy.
Yep.
Guys, if you guys want to see dope photos, okay, from a man that has generated these from the depths of his black heart, you know, in his sadness, you will see the light in the photos.
Yep.
And to be honest, I have not gone on his Instagram yet, but you know what? As soon as I get off here, I'm going to follow it.
Thank you.
And I feel like we're going to have you on again, obviously,
Cool.
because I think we just scratched the surface of what we intend to do with you.
Oh, all right.
As sadistic as that sounds. But yeah, man, I do appreciate you coming on here and sharing, you know, a little bit of your story. Do you have any like projects that you're working on or anything like that right now?
Currently, nothing too much. I want to start filming, like video filming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to start filming too.
Yeah, that's because I have, dude. You guys, my fucking brain is full of ideas, but I'm I'm scared to take that step forward. I'm scared to start. I even want to start a podcast too, but I'm scared to do it.
What would you call your podcast? Photo time with the boys?
No, it's actually this is the first time I'm going to talk about it publicly. This is.
Oh, wait. Do you want to?
I do.
All right.
It's a photo idea in cooperation with the podcast, with the filming. It's a thing I came up with. It's called Connected, but the way I spell it is I'll show you. Oh crap, my pen died. I always have a backup.
It's a fancy ass pen.
It's a fancy ass backup pen.
Yeah.
So I know it's a little weird. It's spelled CONN, left bracket H, right bracket ECTID. So it's the word connected, but it's a joint of connected and hectic. So it's connected in a hectic world.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a shower thought that I had actually.
Oh, best thoughts.
Shower thoughts are the best thoughts.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember it vividly. I was scrubbing my hair. I was getting the shampoo out of my hair, and it just went connected and hectic. Why does that just flow?
That's why everyone needs a whiteboard in their shower,
Yeah.
or maybe a chalkboard.
Yeah,
I think you should definitely like trademark that or.
Yeah.
I want to. I really do.
Huh.
So that's like the up and coming thing. Once I get out of this stupid little bubble of I'm afraid.
Okay.
Hey man, when you're afraid, that's when you should just do it.
That's
I
right.
know. And you know the one thing I'm afraid of, which is stupid, is for the long time it was my voice. I didn't like the sound of my voice, as most people don't.
Correct.
So that's why doing this actually feels really comfortable. It's the first time I ever do something like this, and I
Nice.
hear myself, and I don't mind how I sound.
Yeah.
We don't mind how you sound either.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because normally I would like record stuff, and I'd be like, ugh. And all my friends would be like, dude, your voice is not bad. Like it's cool. It's calming. It's neutral.
Yeah.
It's nothing like outrageous, and it's not like boring. So I was like, okay. But every time I would try it, I'd just be like, oh god, delete.
I mean, we are our own harshest critics.
We are.
So,
We are.
no, man, I would love for that to take off because we're obviously kind of, you know, we're a work in progress as well.
This is a cool setup.
You know, we took a little bit of time and a lot of help from you know, all of us collaboratively to bring this together. But you know, it's a not so much a big undertaking, but because it's a very humble beginning, but it's you'll see it. Hopefully, you will learn from. Maybe if we can pass on some things that we've learned, but
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think you got it. You got it.
Yeah, and if you guys don't mind, I can like flaunt you on my page and all that.
Oh,
Because I have a pretty decent amount of followers. Maybe throw some traffic your way.
Yes,
we would love that.
if
For
you
sure.
want to shoot me nude, I do not charge.
We need to gain followers.
Oh, we did a game loss. Fuck, my bad. I thought you were trying to like mediate it. All right, Paul. Thank you very much again to our loyal listeners and followers. Thank you very much for rating and for commenting. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and that rate button. You know where to find us, man. InstaG and Twitter _GTWTB. That's on Instagram and Twitter. And for any inquiries,
Andrew at gtwtb.com.
yeah, I don't know if we're forgetting any. Probably not.
Yeah, follow Paul. He'll be on again.
He will be. Yeah.
Look at our YouTube. We are posting every Wednesday now.
Yes. Yeah. Every Wednesday. Oh, today's October 11th. maybe that could be in the edit. Yeah, man. Follow Paul. Photo.spy on Instag and _GTWTV.com. Oh, _GTWTV. Sorry, not GTWTV. Not yet. At least.
Berate Germund at gtwtb.com.
Yeah, send nudes to German at gtwtv.com.
The objective is to gain followers.
Yeah, and if you want me to send nudes, just give me an email. All right, I gotta cut this off, guys. We'll check you guys off on the.
Now we're on Spotify. So check us out on Spotify.
Which
Guys.
is where I listen to you guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
We finally broke that market.
we did. You know what? Shout out to Kong-san.
We've been working feverishly on
Yeah.
getting us on every platform that we can.
And you know what? We are now.
Yeah.
You know, and we're making it. So check us out on Spotify. Good Times with the Boys. Just search it up. You'll find it. You know what the logo looks like. We're still on Apple Podcast. We're still on SoundCloud.
And what else are we on?
The Tube,
That's it.
Instagram, and tweets. Alrighty? Thank you very much. And until next time, bye-bye.
Later.